So let's talk about that night, the night that Biggie gets killed. You said that a guy named Poochie killed Biggie.
Right.
Explain to me who Poochie was.
Poochie, gang member, Compton, went by two names, Darnell Bolton or Wardell Faust. He was a close associate of Suge's, well known within the Mob Piru gang circle, would be well known to Mob James and others, and somebody that was very violent and had already been shot himself, had already committed shootings. He was like a go-to guy if you needed something taken care of. So it was natural when we heard about him being the one that Suge solicited to do the murder, you know, it just made sense.
So you're saying that Suge told Poochie to kill Biggie?
Indirectly. After Las Vegas, Suge ends up in jail. And so now the only way that Suge can communicate with Poochie, you know, Poochie's an ex-convict. He can't come to the county jail and have a conversation with Suge. And so Suge uses an intermediary, much like Puffy used Zip. Suge uses a baby mama of his named Teresa Swan, and has her deliver the message and make the solicitation for Poochie to get at Biggie.
Teresa Swan or Tammy Hawkins?
You can call her Tammy Hawkins. I call her Teresa Swan, but it's one and the same.
She has two names.
Yeah.
And she has a child with Suge.
Correct.
But I guess there was some money that changed hands?
Yeah. Yeah, according to her, she gave Poochie, I think it's 14 grand or something like that. The solicitation involved an amount of 25,000. Clearly she keeps whatever the remainder was after 14 grand.
Okay, so she gets 25,000 from Suge? Allegedly?
That's allegedly, yeah. We were never able to track down these transactions. When we become aware of it, when she's telling us this story, years have passed, bank accounts are closed, Suge's been to prison, and so, yeah, we were never able to validate that claim with any tangible evidence. We're just relying on her statement, but it's backed up by other people within death row who are saying, yeah, we were all trying to figure out a way to get $25,000 in untraceable funds so that we could, you know, for something Suge needed done. They weren't aware that the money was for a hit.
So you're saying death row employees confirmed that they were trying to get $25,000 to her?
Yeah, there was a guy named Norris Anderson who was involved in this conversation, but again, it was unwittingly. He didn't know.
And Norris Anderson, what was his role?
He was married to Suge's sister, and he was also an employee at death row, like a management type of employee.
Okay. So he admitted getting $25,000 to her, but not knowing what it was for.
And then, of course, we have Reggie Wright Jr., who I think is aware of this conversation also. And Sharitha Knight is aware of this conversation. But again, they don't know what the money's for. They just know they're trying to get money together because Suge needs something done.
Okay.
So I want to make sure that I'm mentioning these names not in the sense that they're involved in a conspiracy.
Yeah.
It's just that they're trying to move money for whatever reason.
Okay.
And Tammy Hawkins is the one who's aware with the, there I go, right?
So Biggie's the biggest rapper in the world right now. And rap is one of the biggest genres, so that makes him one of the biggest artists in the world. Right. Why on earth would anybody agree to kill someone that famous for $11,000? You know, an amount that's not going to really change your life very much.
Yeah, because on the streets in South Central Los Angeles, in these, you know, these neighborhoods, $11,000 is $11,000, $14,000, $5,000, $1,000. It's money, and it's money that you can get right now, and you don't think twice about killing. Like I said, Poochie's not a guy that's afraid to go out and pull the trigger, and if he's ingratiated himself with Suge, knowing that Suge's this really successful guy, it's not unusual at all. You know, all of those guys that were surrounding Suge and doing doing his dirty work, they were doing it for pennies. They were doing it for very small salaries and for cars. You know, so maybe it's hard for guys like you and I to understand how you could take somebody's life for such a small amount of money, but it's a different mentality completely.
How does Poochie actually kill Biggie?
Drive-by shooting, very much like the one in Las Vegas 6 months earlier with Tupac. They pull up alongside identify where he's sitting, and start fighting or start firing.
And they get away with no trace. I mean, there's potentially cameras around. I mean, we're talking about the 90s, so it's not like it is now, but
Right.
I mean, they ID'd the car and everything, right?
Well, they ID'd the car with a description of the car, but they didn't positively ID. We didn't get like a license plate number that could lead us to a specific car.
And there was no cameras to get the license plate or anything?
No, nothing. I mean, that crime scene was investigated as thoroughly as you can investigate a crime scene. They looked at all the cameras. They weren't high quality. We took it over to the National Law Enforcement Information Center and had them do, it's like NASA quality video evaluation. You just couldn't come up with anything, man,
Okay.
as far as that car goes.
So according to you, Poochie kills Biggie.
According to Teresa Swan.
Teresa Swan.
Right.
Yeah.
Who
And
I believe.
based on your investigation.
True.
Poochie kills Biggie.
Right.
What happens to Poochie afterwards?
Poochie ends up getting killed, some street-related violence. He's riding his motorcycle, and he gets shot in the back.
How soon after?
Oh, he didn't die until like 2002. So you're talking 5 years.
5 years.
And there's no reason to believe it was related to what he had done to Biggie.
Okay.
It was just the nature of being involved in all that street warfare.